Hello everyone, Wingcapman here with a tutorial video about how to uninstall the updated version of Super Mario Bros. 35, the option to reinstall back to the latest version 1.0.2, as well as giving you the possibility to play with custom levels, and of course the file structure that you have to include custom textures, custom sound effects, you name it. And there are two different setups for this one. One is for the Nintendo Switch setup, which I assume the majority already use if they have a soft modded Nintendo Switch. And the second option is Ryujinx. This is meant for a custom build that's only usable for Super Mario Bros. 35, or at least it's recommended to use it that way. First thing first, we just gonna go for the Nintendo Switch setup. So we're just gonna scroll through what we have over here. So there are two files or two folders getting added to your your SD card, just on the root of your SD card. The root of your SD card means it's just right at the beginning of your SD card. So if you open up your SD card, you get like some files, some folders. Just put it like right there. So that's pretty straightforward. However, we have Atmosphere and Switch. So we're gonna check on Switch first, because those two are two applications that are for the Homebrew launcher. One is called DVI, that's specifically meant for uninstalling and installing updates, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And NX Shell is just pure for convenience. You use this for renaming folders if you want to. Let's say you have custom textures for version 1.0.2, but you don't want to have conflicts with it, so you can rename it just on your Nintendo Switch without the need to use FTPD or getting rid of your SD card to be put in the laptop or PC and doing all of that over there. So you don't have to do that anymore with this application. So we go back to Atmosphere, because this folder actually has something interesting. So the contents folder is just all your modding shenanigans, that's fine. But the EXEFS patches folder is very special, because this contains a patch file. And this patch file, even if it has an extremely long name, this one is used for patching certain content in Super Mario Bros. 35. So a little fun fact, there was an invisible superstar block, but the game didn't include an invisible power-up block. Well, this patch fixes that basically. That superstar block that's invisible, it's replaced with the invisible power-up instead. This is specifically for the lost levels. As you can remember, that there are a bunch of invisible blocks, but there's like not one invisible superstar. So yeah, this patch is specifically for that, and as well as the custom server that you can connect to it, that the server knows, oh, you're using this one. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong with it, but the former is true though, so the more you know. So in the contents folder you have the game ID, and this is of course very important, otherwise you cannot load custom stuff. And from here you have the ROM FS folder, and then the whole structure for the game is just here. So you have archive, which include all of the fancy stuff, as you can see right now. So all the levels from 1.1 to 8.4 are in this one. Those are the last levels one, specifically for this tutorial. And there are custom textures included just for the menus, as well as the boot screen that you know, oh, I'm loading a different mod. And this one is optional. This one includes muted music files. So if you want to get removed of this one or want to replace it with different custom music, you can do that. But you also can just simply remove it just like that and you have your music back. But I'll just include this one for if people want to have it. So there's that. For Ryujinx, the setup is a little bit different because you have different file structure. You go to portable, to mods, and from there you have the contents and patch folder. And instead of the patch folder over here, like how it is on a Nintendo Switch, this one, it's not included here for whatever reason, but this is needed. I'm not gonna test Ryujinx on this one because my computer will go haywire. So yeah, if stuff aren't working out as expected, try to include like by creating a new folder and name it patch and put this one in patch, just like how it works on Nintendo Switch. Yeah. So we go back to the Nintendo Switch. So let's get rid of this one. So don't worry about my custom thumbnail. So what you have seen with the custom structures I included, or the custom files I mean, you can do stuff like, oh, I forgot to change that. But basically you can change the title on this screen as well as the version and the author, which is very nice. But for this, yeah, for the sake of this tutorial, we are going to the Homebrew menu launcher, and let's drag and drop the Nintendo Switch setup files. So I'm gonna go for the FTPD thingy, the application. This one is not included because you need to find your own method to what's it called, to put everything on the SD card. So this application is possible to do. There's also just ejecting the SD card, whatever. So can I hold up? I'm gonna do this a little bit different. Just doing this on the fly. Let's see. Because I can do something like this, so that you have both screens for a little bit. So as you can see here on my browser, so I opened up my my Nintendo Switch thingy. This is just different for everyone else because this is just through Wi-Fi on your own network, but it's like just a local network, so it works a little bit weird. Okay, so in Atmosphere you go to oh wait, sorry about that. So the root of your SD card, oh my god, come on. The root of your SD card is just basically this one. So if you open up in the FTPD application, then you go to basically this one. That's the connection with your SD card. And now it's just drag and drop, but just to make sure that I have renamed everything. Okay, I did. And that's a little bit too far. Good job, me. So from here, SD root, and basically drag and drop. So it will prompt me with replacing some applications, like this one. I'll just make sure I do this. You don't have to do this if you already have those files, but yeah, just do it. But there's no problem with it, because only a few files will be replaced, but those are basically the files you already have. So that's just the drag and drop thingy that you have to do on your SD card. From there you can close it. So that's done. Away with it. And let me do this. Yeah. Because we have to go back to the Nintendo Switch again. And from there, all the files are on the SD card. So what we want to do is to go to the Homebrew launcher. If you have any specific mods included, just of course just rename it, but I assume you don't have it. So I can show you an Excel just for a little bit. You go to the root of your SD card and then go to Atmosphere folder and then Contents, and you have to look for this specific game ID, because this one is just for Super Mario Bros. 35, but since I already have changed the names before I dragged and dropped the files, I don't have to do it. However, if you have more mods for different versions, like as you can see here, you can keep them without removing them. Those won't get loaded at all. So that's a little fun fact. So we go back by pressing the plus button and going to DBI. And from there you get this fancy blue screen. Well, don't panic, this is just the way how this application works. You go to Browse Install Applications. You go to Super Mario Bros. 35. And from there, if you don't have a backup from those files, you can do it from here by pressing the plus button. So the plus button on this screen doesn't put you back in the Homebrew launcher. Instead, it gives you a pop-up like this one. You can simply press dump to SD card. So don't do move to SD card, just dump it. Well, the same goes for the update version. Especially the update version, because we are only going to remove the update version and not the application. So keep that in mind. I already have done this one, so I delete it. So it does all that. Then press B to return. As you can see, you only have the base game now. You press the home button. And suddenly, your game has been changed to Super Mario Bros. 35 The Lost Battles. And if you press the plus button here, you can see it says version 1.0.2-CI. So there are custom files included, as you noticed earlier when we were going to the ROM FS folder. So before you open that, you see two to four different files, and those include just customizations like custom thumbnail, different name, different version name, and different authors. So you can do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you go into it, because we have version 1.0.0 now, we boot the game. As you can see, stuff is a little bit different than what you're used to. And even the top left says that it's the Lost Battles. And this whole menu has been altered, while the background has been altered. And if you go to course practice, just to make sure that all the levels work for all your modding shenanigans, just go into this one. So big shout outs to FF Saga for making all the thumbnails. They did it on the free time. And I kind of want to change the feel of them, because as you can see, some of them showcase hidden power-ups. So you can use it as a little bit of a cheat sheet. However, we are going into 1.1 just to check out what's different here. As you can see, stuff is in fact different. The version number is at the bottom because, well, this is specifically for the continued interest community. that we can play lost levels against each other. And if there are a few changes being made, we want to make sure we have all the files up to date for every single member. So this is only for 1-1. And of course the title screen will be different every single time we update as well. But as you can see, yeah, custom levels work just fine. It's very easy to set it up. But yeah, let's just die here. We're going back to the tutorial. If I go back to the main menu first, there we go. And having this one open, I'm going back to the tutorial section and doing the filter again, because we have to... Can you people see it? No, just barely not. Okay. I thought that would work, but no, it doesn't. Okay, so we go to this section over here, the smb35server.com website. So you have this dashboard. This is where all the magic begins, because if you want to host a different lobby, you basically have to join in and let's go for just 1-1. You don't see my capture card, but don't worry, I'm just pressing 1-1. And once it's loaded, you will get to see me in the lobby. And what's more interesting is that if you have different bots included, the bots will actually synchronize with the user instead of the server. So that means that yeah, the bots actually respond on custom levels, which is very interesting. So if you do an RTA challenge, all the sent enemies are actually placed just properly. They are properly generated to the point that stuff just works. So you can host everything on this screen right here. So that's nice. However, there is one issue. And that's if you play with other players that have different versions of the game, so like version 1.0.1 or version 1.0.2, the game will crash eventually. And it's like at the countdown, because levels have to be loaded as well as what's called your character. So once your character loads in, the game is desynced, and if it's desynced, the game will crash, basically. So I'm going back out of this one. But yeah, if everyone has the same files, just the identical files, you can play together. So you can do this on the dashboard. You can redeem special level queues. Where is it? It's just over here. So you have to scroll through a little bit. And of course you have options over here like injecting specific bot levels. Just stuff like that. Just the way how people are used to in the continued interest community. But yeah, that was pretty much it for uninstalling the updated version of Mario 35 and then, you know, adding new mods to the game. However, we want to make sure that we also can play version 1.0.2 again, which we are gonna do right now. So we're gonna close out of the game, and because I have multiple mods, I have to go to an eggshell and rename this specific folder to something else. So I do have it over here, but just to make sure for this tutorial, I'm going to rename it just to make sure that you know like if you know more than enough that it's like, oh, this one is for version 1.0.0, that's just fine. You can do that, and it's just placed over here. And if I want to go back to version 1.0.2, because I do have mods for the latest version, of course, I just simply remove this accept, and then it's placed over here. So that's just fine. I press the plus button to go back to the Homebrew launcher, going to the DB installer, and instead of going to browse install applications, because the game doesn't have the updates on your console anymore, you go to browse SD card, and from there it depends where you have saved your update and base files. In this case I have it in NSP. As you can see here, there are NSP files, which the one at the bottom is the updated one. You can see it with version 0, that's just the base game, and version 1.3.1.0.2, that's version 1.0.2. So from there we was it the A button in this one? Yeah, okay. So instead of the plus button, because I constantly confuse myself with this one, so on this screen, this one, instead of the plus button, you press the A button. Keep that in mind. And from here, before you are going to start install, even if you have a custom firmware that's just MU-MMC, still please choose the NAND instead of SD card. Because if you play in an emulated Nintendo Switch, it still thinks you are in NAND because you have stuff on the NAND, it's just emulated. So even if you do custom firmware, just choose NAND because it's installed on your emulated Nintendo Switch. From there, just start install, let it do its job. From there, press B, and then pressing the home button because it is done. And as you can see, I have my mods bag. I press the plus button, and as you can see, the text is different. So that's pretty much it. So from here, you can have different mods for version 1.0.0 and version 1.0.2. And for the people who are extra lucky, there is also version 1.0.1, but that's currently untested. Version 1.0.0 is specifically for the last levels, custom levels, and maybe in the future we finally have some last levels tournaments. That will be interesting. There's only an issue with that, and in version 1.0.0 there are multiple reasons why this game had updates, and one of them is optimizations. So for the people who like Lucky 2 parties, I have to disappoint you. They lag the game so hard that it's 1 frame each 5 seconds or something if you play an RTA challenge. It is impossible to play with Lucky 2 parties. You will get disconnected or the game freezes. One of the two just happens. So if you really want to have Lucky 2 parties, please play in the latest update, version 1.0.2. Of course, version 1.0.0, the base game, it has very different changes from what you're used to. So remember the spawned bouses from your opponents, that they send bouses to you? Yeah, all the flames from those bouses always go to the center of the screen. So they are actually way easier, but in certain situations it's actually way harder. Because it feels like they are unpredictable, but believe me, they are not. Of course, the funny shell goes sound effects are also present. It was still a thing in version 1.0.1 until Nintendo and Arika were like, okay, many people complain about the spammy sound effects from shells between tiles, like in Super Mario Bros. 1-2. So the sound effects had been changed a little bit, and of course more optimizations as well as anti-cheat, stuff like that. But yeah, that was version 1.0.1. Version 1.0.0 has just weird quirks like dying and getting a power-up at the same time, you fall through the floor and then you softlock basically. So there are some very nasty bugs in the base game. But sadly, this is the only way to play custom levels for now, at the time this video has been made. So hopefully in the future we can disassemble the game to the point we also can include green trampolines, poisonous mushrooms, of course optimize the game like how it is in version 1.0.2 to prevent lag, and more stuff I can't think of, that's just way too many. With that being said, thanks for watching, and hopefully this tutorial was useful. And if you people get stuck with the whole process, because I have been talking a lot in this tutorial, while I could have been done in like 5 minutes, please let me know if you're stuck. I'm able to help you out. It's only for the continued interest community, so you have to be in this community in order to actually play with us. We don't provide ROMs or anything like those NSP files. Those are basically ROMs. We are not allowed to share, please understand. We are only modifying the game to the point that it's like, okay, this is enjoyable, and of course we play the base game still, the weekly tournaments are still a thing, and those are just completely unmodified, even if we just play on a custom server to make the game, live again, basically. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day, everyone.